ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲಾಖೆ ಧಾರವಾಡ ಉಪನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರ ಕಚೇರಿಯಿಂದ SSLC ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳಿಗಾಗಿ ಪರೀಕ್ಷಾ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ, ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ ಟಿಪ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು, ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು, ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು, ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಯನ್ನು ಎದುರಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುವ ನಿರ್ವಹಣಾ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯವನ್ನು ಸುಮಾರು 3 ಭಾಷೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಕನ್ನಡ, ಹಿಂದಿ, ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಭಾಷೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳನ್ನು ವಿಭಾಗದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ, ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಅನುಕೂಲಕರವಾಗುವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಪರೀಕ್ಷಾ ತಯಾರಿಗೆ ಅನುಕೂಲಕರವಾಗಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯ ಪರಿಣಿತರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಉಪನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರ ಕಚೇರಿಯ ಉಪನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯ ನಿರ್ವಾಹಕರಿಗೆ, ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಪೂರ್ಣಿಮಾ ಮುಕುಂದ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ.
Myself Sanjeev Kumar Bhushetti, Science Master, Government High School, Kusagal, Hubballi. Today I am going to bring you biology details of SSLC Science, wherein you can score good marks and can attain a milestone in your life. So now let us see the details into the biology. So now children's life at school must be linked to their life outside the school. So it encourages the students to reflect in their own learning and pursue the imaginative activities and questions. Students are asked to think and explore beyond syllabus so that would enhance their scientific expedition at higher levels. It means that we have to relate our day-to-day activities, day-to-day life to that of the syllabus so that we will not forget anything else in our life. Now there are 6 chapters in biology. The one is life processes, another one is control and coordination, another one is how do organisms reproduce, heredity and evolution, our environment, sustainable management and natural resources. Let us see the details, the concepts of each chapter. In the life processes we come across nutrition. In the nutrition, autotrophs, autotrophs means the plants which are having chlorophyll and they can undertake their own preparation of the food by way of photosynthesis. Then heterotrophic nutrition in plants and animals also, and we know that respiration, in which aerobic and anaerobic respiration comes, anaerobic in the lower organisms and aerobic in the higher organisms, whereas transportation in plants and circulation in animals. In transportation in plants we come across ascent of sap, wherein we come across transpiration also, which is a necessary evil we say, as well as circulation. We all know about blood circulation in man, that is going to be carried out, and then excretion, urine formation in man, and the dialysis process, especially excretion in plants. Plants do excrete, that we are going to learn in detail in this chapter. The next one is control and coordination, which is the heart and soul of biology this year, I should tell you, because wherein we come across a wonderful system, nervous system, which brings about the coordination between the different parts of the body to that of the whatever the organs or tissues in the body. There we come across nervous system, classification and structural outlook of the nervous system. We know that nervous system is classified into CNS, PNS and ANS, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system and autonomous nervous system. Central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord, and peripheral nervous system consists of 12 pairs of brain nerves, 31 pairs of spinal nerves, and autonomous nervous system consists of sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system, which act opposite to each other. There we come across human brain, the functioning of the brain. Brain is called as a supercomputer, you know that is the central processing unit of this body. And reflex arc and reflex action, it's important. So many times in our day-to-day life we come across many other things which are very serious, will be carried out by the spinal cord rather than brain. That will be reflex action. Then endocrine glands, they are very, very important, that throughout the body, whether it is pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, or else the testes or ovary, whatever it is, they are all functioning in our body at different stages of the age, and then they are going to make a complete body by secretion of the hormones, particularly to that of the particular target organs, and they are going to function then onwards. Then we come across coordination in plants also. because plants will flower, plants will grow, plants will cease their growth. They all will be under the control of the different hormones. The next chapter is how do organisms reproduce. We know that here is a pointer. This pointer can be produced, but this pointer cannot reproduce. Whereas living beings can reproduce. That is either by sexual method or by asexual method. If it is asexually, there are different methods like that of fission, fragmentation, regeneration, budding, and vegetative propagations or spore formations. Whereas sexual reproduction, there will be production of the male and female gametes in the different organisms, and they meet and they are going to proliferate the next generation. Then we come across a very important aspect, that is sexual health, that we are going to learn. The next chapter is heredity and evolution. It's very important as that of the control and coordination, wherein we come across a wonderful concept, that is human evolution. We are very well civilized nowadays, we are flying in air, we are reaching on to Mars and all. But how were our ancient people? That will be learnt in this. How is the life originated on the earth, and what are the different concepts like variations and matter of heredity, like mutation is there and regular modification of the genes is there, and Mendelian genetics we are going to learn here. John Gregor Mendel, we all know that he is called as the father of genetics. We are going to learn about monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross and expression of the traits at different status, different situations. Then sex determination. It cannot be determined by scanning or what. It can be determined by the presence of the sex chromosomes. If it is XX, it's going to be female. If it is XY, it is going to be male. Then we come across Darwinism. What are the postulates of the Darwin? And then speciation. Speciation means it is by way of variance or variations. Animal or a plant is going to make a further generation wherein there will be minor changes carried forward. So then we come across the evidences of the evolution. That's very important concept. If I say this is evolved, life is evolved, then you may ask me what are the witnesses. The witnesses are from the fossils, from the homologous and analogous organs, and embryological evidences also. The next chapter is our environment. Everybody, since 3rd standard we are learning it in the environmental study. That is ecosystem, components of ecosystem, functioning of ecosystem, food chain and food web. Then the flow of energy in the nature. We all know that flow of energy in the nature is unidirectional. From sun, it moves in a one direction, and every trophic level 1/10 of the energy is going to be moved. So that we are going to learn here. Then human activities affecting environment. We all know that with the most cruel animal in the world, it means like none other than human, we say, because our unscientific ways, unscientific activities are going to harm the natural habitat of all the biodiversity, and that is going to be in danger. Then depletion of ozone. Nowadays it is been brought under control, but we have to analyze what are the reasons for the depletion and how are they going to be managed. Then waste management, whether it is solid waste management, liquid waste management. Another very important thing is that is e-waste management. How e-waste management can be also done. The next and the last chapter is sustainable management and natural resources. Friends, we know that today whatever the resources we are using in this world, in the earth, they are not meant for only this generation. We have to keep them for the next generation also. So for that reason we have to go for water harvesting, we have to go for solar energy harvesting, we have to go for some other resources wherein by which this non-renewable resources stress or pressure can be brought down. So these are the chapters by which this year we are going to learn this in biology. They are directly affecting us and we are going to learn them. We are going to get the marks out of the whatever the question they are going to ask in the examinations. The next one is this is now the theme of today's lecture here. That is, there are 6 chapters: life processes, control and coordination, how do organisms reproduce, heredity and evolution, our environment, sustainable management of natural resources. They are divided by the board, SLC board, wherein they have allotted 27 marks for that, and those 27 marks are like this: life processes 6 marks, maximum marks you can score there. Then control and coordination 5 marks, how do organisms reproduce another 5 marks, heredity and evolution 6 marks, and our environment 2 marks, and sustainable management of natural resources is 3 marks. So now, how is this question paper pertaining to biology is framed? Question paper pertaining to biology is framed like this. There will be MCQs, multiple choice questionnaire. There are 3 questions. You know, if you practice the exercise, multiple choice questions, and then fill in the blanks, definitely you will be thorough enough so that you can score good marks there. Then very short answer, there will be 1 mark, 3 questions are going to be asked. That is also going to be done very easily. Then short answer, 2 marks each. There will be 5 questions from biology. They are obviously pertaining to the knowledge aspect will be asked. Then long answer 1, type 1, there will be 1 question carrying 3 marks. Long answer type 2, there will be 1 question carrying 4 marks. Now, match the following can be asked in biology, in physics or in chemistry, it doesn't matter. Let us be prepared for that. So this is how the the biology blueprint of marks distribution to the different chapters and different types of the questions also. The next one is, this is a very important thing that we must be aware of. What is this knowledge, understanding, application, skill? What is this? Knowledge means it is the direct questions, like what kind of the questions. Usually, what kind of the questions, recognizing questions will be asked in the knowledge aspect. Where every student, whether it is dull or intelligent, can attain good marks in this aspect. There are 5 questions, 5 marks, and there will be 20%. Whereas understanding, it is how and why kind of the questions. How and why kind of the questions, segregation, comparison, differences, they all will be there. Give reason, they all comes under this aspect, 40%. Whereas application marks, application means in day-to-day life, like farmers, like different industries, like in our school campus, in our house backyard. What are the scientific activities that are carried out? And what are the things going on around us in the society? They are lifted by the question paper setter, and we have to reason out scientifically based on the whatever syllabus is pertain to us. Then skills, drawing and labeling and identifying the things, or completion of whatever the like fill in the blanks type the type of the things are there, they all comes under skill. Even including match the following also, so many times based on the pictures may be given, there also you can solve these questions. The next, fine, I would like to bring to your notice that what are the different verbal or the behavioral words that can be asked in the examinations. Either it may be knowledge aspect or understanding or application, analysis, synthesis or evaluation. So let us be concentrate some of the important things. In knowledge aspect, you may come across list. Like they may ask you to find out what are the list of the animals which are under threat, like this. So sustainable development there. Then name the following. A picture will be given, the parts are not labeled, they may ask you to name the following. Then identify, you have to identify. Then show, you may be asked to show the flow of the energy in nature is unidirectional, or else there will be food chain or food web is given, you may be asked to find out the what comes next, the arrows you may be asked to show. Definitions, the definitions are going to be asked. Recognition, recall, state, visualize. These are the different kinds of the words, behavioral words we call it as, on which the question paper will be formed. That is in knowledge aspect. Whereas in understanding, summarize, explain, interpret. That is what I was telling you. How and why kind of the questions. Interpretation, description and comparison. Then paraphrases, differentiation, demonstration, classification, like classify the human nervous system, they may ask you, classify the human nervous system. So that is how you have to plan. And whereas in application kind, solving will come, illustrate with the examples, right? And then calculation, use, interpret, relate, manipulation, apply and modify. Whereas if you come across evaluation, evaluate, choose, estimate, judge, defend, justify, criticize kind of the questions will be asked. So friends, Please remember that these are the words on which question paper will be set, and we have to be aware of all these things. The next one is some of the hard questions and simple questions I would like to bring it to your notice. In the first chapter, life processes, we come across autotrophic nutrition requires high temperature. Why? You must know that temperature range enhances the productivity of the plants. I mean to say that the rate of photosynthesis will be directly proportional to the temperature. Whereas what is the role of saliva in oral digestion? Digestion in man, you know that it starts with the oral cavity, then stomach, intestine. Whereas further after duodenum there won't be any further digestion, there will be absorption. That is it. Then how and where are fats emulsified? Emulsification of fats takes place in the liver, right? Bile salts, bile juices are there, they are going to be helpful there. Then describe the importance of the stomatal operation. We know that stomata are the openings made for the exchange of the gases, right? And there, how will it be open or how will it be closed, right? By way of transpiration and all. Then why is circulation in man called double circulation? We know that. Then how is urine formed in woman? This is point to be noted that woman, men or woman doesn't matter. Men or woman doesn't matter. It is the process of urine formation which matters, right? So in nephrons, the nephrons are same in men and women. The urine formation is going to be taken place. Then dialysis only can solve kidney failure. Justify. When the kidneys are failure, it means that nephrons are unable to work. It means that we have to go for some other way, like how the waste from the body can be thrown out. That will be done by the dialysis. The next one is some of the simple questions like pertaining to sketch and label digestive system in man, then respiratory system or nephron. Then how are the structures of alveoli helpful in respiration? We know that respiration takes place like external respiration, internal respiration, or else it's also called as cellular respiration. That will be taken place in the alveoli. In alveoli what happens? Blood vessels will be there. They give away oxygen into the alveoli and they take in carbon dioxide goes out of the body, whereas oxygen carried to the heart and from there to the different parts of the body. Then we come across distinguish between the aerobic and anaerobic respiration. We know that. Then what are the factors that are affecting the ascent of the sap? I was just telling you, the temperature matters, sunlight matters, water rain matters, then the tensile strength of the tissues matters. They are the factors which will be affecting on the ascent of the sap. What are the excretory products in plants? In plants, we come across n number of excretory products. That is how simple questions in this chapter can be asked. The very important thing that most of us will have to be perfect in drawing figures in biology, then only you can score good marks. Entire in science there will be questioning pertaining to these diagrams. For 16 marks, you can score very easily 16 marks if you practice this. The first one is, this is open, stomata open, and this is stomata closed. We call it as turgidity. When these cells become turgid, obviously stomata opens and they lose water, then they are less turgid and the stomata will be closed. Whereas this is human digestive system. We know the different parts. I did not go into detail of that. Then the heart, left part of the heart consisting of oxygenated blood, whereas right part of the heart consists of deoxygenated blood, right, which is called as a pumping organ in the body. And whereas this is another very important thing, that kidneys, they are the units which will purify the blood and they will send out whatever the things which are not necessary to the body. Wherein urine is formed, that is the structure of the nephron. In control and coordination, some of the things to be considered are, how does chemical coordination occur in plants? That's very water movement that makes the plants to close their leaves or open their leaves. We know that in Mimosa pudica, touch me not plant. Whereas how are involuntary actions different from reflex actions? You know, reflex actions are carried out by the spinal cord without the knowledge of the brain, whereas the other actions which are carried out with the knowledge of the brain. That's what is the difference between that. List the types of the receptors. There are different receptors. We know that 5 receptors are there. 5 sense organs, doesn't mean. Then goiter is an endemic disease because it is found in only few of the areas, especially in the hill stations, because the people who are lacking in the intake of the iodine, they are going to suffer from this because it's because of the lack of the thyroxine hormone. Then How is message connected in the nervous system? Sketch and label the human brain. They are the few questions. Then what is neuron? You know, structural functional unit of nervous system. What are the plant hormones? Plant hormones are there. Ethylene is there. Auxin is there. Abscisic acid is there. Like that. What are the consequences of hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism? And what is geotrophism? There are movements in the plants. We call it as trophic movements and nastic movements. Geotrophism, thigmotrophism, phototrophism, right? Whereas in touch me not plant, that is nastic movement. Then we come across what is a motor neuron. We come across sketch and label the parts of the neuron, and how does touch me not plant shows nastic movement. Because of the plant water relationships, it shows us the different kinds of the closure or this thing. Then the two important figures that it's very easy to draw. Make a one small circle and put a line, and here and there some decorations. Definitely you are going to be drawing the neuron structure. This is cytone, this is axon. You are going to score 2 marks there. Whereas this can be asked for 4 mark, where in entire figure you have to draw, and there will be 2 or 3 parts asked in the examination. That is, this you can see cerebrum, this is cerebellum, this is medulla oblongata and pons, where in the mid brain. And we come across hypothalamus there, and pituitary gland is also there. Very easy to draw these diagrams. Next one. How do organisms reproduce? When this comes, it's carrying 5 marks. Very easily you can score the marks here, because very important question which will be on and often asked, that is the possibility of variation is too less in the asexual reproduction. This will be on and often asked. Even CBS examination also it is asked that as there is single parent involved, you cannot find much variations. Whereas in sexual reproduction, 2 parents involved, 2 parents from different nature, different geographical area, different psychology, physiology, anatomy, everything, and then obviously there will be more chances of variations. Next one. There may be a question related to the plant reproduction, that will be either pollination or the different kinds of the, like sketch and label the parts of the flower. What are the different methods of contraceptions? This is in this chapter. Another very important thing is that contraceptive methods, like sexual health we call it as. Because nowadays we see that many people, because of westernization, because of media, they are falling into the different what you call it as misunderstandings, and that may affect their health. So that's why we have to take care of the sexual health. That's what is the another concept which is very important in this chapter. There will be a question carrying 3 marks or 4 marks. Sometimes this flower can be asked for 2 marks also, the structure of the flower. Whereas this is how the germination of the pollen. The pollen comes through the pollen tube and enters the ovary, and it meets the ovule. And then we call it as fertilization. Right? So these are the pictures that can be asked in this chapter. We come across heredity and evolution. Heredity and evolution is another very important thing, wherein we come across monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross, that you have to practice. Other than that, there is a sexual reproduction gives rise to more variations. That is another concept what you have to look into there. And evidences for evolution, that is especially the fossil evolution, fossil evidences, and analogical organs, and another one that is called as homological organs. Next. Simple questions. What is speciation? What are Mendel's 7 characters in pea plant? List the stages in the human evolution. Like this, that you have to prepare well, and you can score good marks there. Then our environment, wherein it's very easy. Food chain, food web, I was telling you about. And how do we protect ozone from getting degenerated? Here in this chapter, we come across many a times the questions which are related to the air pollution. Air pollution, especially this whatever the air pollutants are there, oxides of nitrogen, oxides of carbon, oxides of sulfur, they are going to bring about air pollution. And there is deforestation, there is urbanization, there is industrialization. They are all going to be our day-to-day surrounding experiences, whose questions will be framed based on that, and we have to be well prepared to answer these questions. Like what is biodegradable products? We know that everybody are nowadays talking about plastics are non-biodegradable, we should not use them, but also we are using them. But how can we minimize the usage? like there is a reuse, recycle. We know that these concepts can be used so that we can bring about that. And another one is that is what is e-waste. Electronic and electrical wastes are called as e-waste, in which metallic and non-metallic also will be there. We have to classify them, we have to subject them to the reuse or recycle. Next. Sustainable management of the natural resources. See, this chapter definitely will give importance to the wildlife and forests, because biodiversity is a concept wherein all the living beings, whether they are plants or animals, starting from unicellular organisms to the high level organisms, we are dependent on this all the nature. That is, we are dependent on soil, water, air and sunlight, temperature, soil, everything, and we have to take care of this, then only they can take care of ourselves, or else it's going to be very difficult for the sustainability. That's what this chapter, rather scoring good marks, but it is very important for our life, wherein we can lead a very happy and healthy life. Some of the questions like how was coal formed, what are the reasons for air pollution, why are wildlife threatened, and how are the forests conserved, what is water harvesting mean and how can we attain it. Very important thing, like water is wasted here and there, that we know. Water resources are very less, that you have to make a note that hardly 1% of the water throughout the world is usable for the drinking purpose, potable water it is. Other than that, that is not at all possible to use for drinking purpose. We have to take care of the water, especially this rainwater harvestment must be done, everybody, then only we can have a very peaceful life. Now, by this way, in this chapter, in this biology section, I would like to give you some of the key notes that read textbook as many as 3 times. I tell you, if you can read textbook thoroughly for 3 times, definitely you can score out of 27 out of 27 marks. Then perfect the diagrams. I have listed the diagrams. So far you know that just once or twice you take the help of the drawing teacher or your friends who can draw it better, you practice them, labelings and all, definitely you are going to do. Then remember the formula, like in this, like you have to make out some of the shortcomings like CNS, ANS, PNS, some tissues, examples, right? That will be marked. Then practice in positive attitude. Always, you know, like in a friend's circle we are going, come man, what will you do? Nothing will happen. Something they may be telling. But I tell you, if you definitely positively try, nothing is impossible. When India, one of the developing nation, with the help of the scientists of ISRO, can send to Mars one of the satellite, then why can't we do it? You can do it, right? You have to be. Then self-evaluation every time in each chapter is very important. I should know that what are the areas which are not yet covered or in which I have to get mastery yet. That is, I should know. That's what I have to go for, self-evaluation. Then healthy food, healthy sleep, focus on the things to be done. That is very important. I am concentrating only on the focus on the things to be done, not to be done. To be done, it includes that healthy food, healthy sleep and healthy studies, healthy discussions with the friends, and obviously we are going to score good marks. Next. So far we have discussed about what is biology, what are the chapters, what are the basic concepts in that, and how are we going to score good marks, what are the things that we have to do, what are things that will fetch us the good marks. And then basic concepts, marks distribution to the different chapters, as well as hot areas and simple questions, and the diagrams also, and experts' ideas, how can we make your biology very successful and all. Now, this is another final word I should tell you, that only I knows my abilities. I know who am I, what am I, where am I. This is not neither my friends knows or my parents knows. That is, if I have to do something, achieve something, it is I myself have to step in first, or else nothing. And if I have to gain, I should have to take pain. There is no pain, no gain. Please remember this. There is no substitution to the hard work. I have to work hard. Write once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. If I don't know, it means that I have to know. If my friends knows, that is for them, not for me. Right? Please. Then you have to sit like a rock. How rocks will be, standing still, right? Whatever the floods comes, whatever the wind blows or hearts and whatever it is, like that you have to be very much determined so that you can achieve something in your life in this year. So I hope all the best of luck to your examinations. Thank you.